President grants assent to the ordinance that aims to protect healthcare personnel and property against violence during epidemics. Cabinet had approved the law outlining hefty fines and jail terms to perpetrators of such attacks. Prime Minister says the ordinance reflects commitment to protect COVID warriors. Home Ministry directs states to ensure adequate security to healthcare professionals against violence, asks states to take strict action against those obstructing performance of last rites of frontline healthcare workers succumbing to COVID-19. Government says 723 COVID hospitals set up in the country so far. Arrangements made for nearly 2 lakh isolation beds. Total number of positive cases in the country numbered at 20,471. 3,959 people have recovered, while death toll stands at 652. Prime Minister Narendra Modi underlines the strength of Indo-Nepal ties after Nepalese Prime Minister expresses gratitude for generous support of essential medicines to fight COVID-19. Prime Minister Modi holds telephonic conversation with Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar to discuss the pandemic situation. And WHO says most countries still in the early stages of the epidemic, even as global COVID-19 cases cross 26 lakh, with more than 1.83 lakh people dead due to the virus. President Trump signs order partially suspending immigration to the US amidst the situation. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. President Ramnath Kovind on Wednesday gave his assent for promulgating an ordinance making acts of violence against healthcare personnel fighting COVID-19 pandemic as cognizable and non-bailable offences. The Union Cabinet brought in the ordinance to protect healthcare workers battling COVID-19. It has stringent provisions for jail term, fine and compensation for those who attack healthcare professionals and their property. They were necessary in the wake of the several incidents of assault and intimidation being faced by healthcare professionals. We get to the details in this report.
Amidst corona crisis in the country, Union Cabinet took several important decisions. The major decision taken by the Cabinet was to bring an ordinance to amend the Epidemic Diseases Act 1897, making attacks on doctors, paramedic staff and ASHA workers a non-bailable and cognizable offence, punishable up to 7 years in prison and fine up to ₹5 lakh. The police will investigate the case in 1 month and the case will be fast-tracked with the final judgment to come within a year. The amended law will come into effect after the President promulgates it and the government notifies it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi too took to Twitter and said that the tough law will ensure safety of healthcare professionals at this critical time. He said, "The Epidemic Diseases Amendment Ordinance 2020 manifests our commitment to protect each and every healthcare worker who is bravely battling COVID-19 on the front line. It will ensure safety of our professionals. There can be no compromise on their safety."
Today, Cabinet approved promulgation of an ordinance to amend the Epidemic Diseases Act 1897 in the light of pandemic situation of COVID-19. And this actually protects the whole health fraternity. The ordinance proposes that within 30 days, the investigation will be over. Within 1 year, the decision of the case will be, the final decision will come. And the punishment ranges from 3 months to 5 years.
The Union Cabinet approved significant investments to the tune of ₹15,000 crore for India COVID-19 emergency response and health system preparedness package. The Cabinet has also made a provision of insurance of 50 lakh rupees of people fighting the coronavirus pandemic. With this, now treatment of non-corona patients under Ayushman Bharat scheme will also be possible in private hospitals.
COVID hospital, which was 0, is now 700 plus. Isolation bed nearly 2 lakh. Ventilators nearly 15,000. PPEs and N95 mask, which was not produced in our country for 70 years. now are produced in our country, make in India.
Prior to the cabinet meeting, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan interacted with doctors and representatives of the Indian Medical Association through a video conference in New Delhi on Wednesday morning. Keeping in mind all the concerns of the doctors about their safety in the fight against the coronavirus, the Home Minister assured them that the central government would leave no stone unturned to ensure their well-being and safety. Union Home Minister Amit Shah strongly condemned the recent attacks on health workers and said that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is closely taking note of all the issues and concerns of doctors. He said that all necessary arrangements will be made to prevent such incidents in future. Meanwhile, the victim of the attack in Muradabad has expressed happiness over the steps taken by the central government to protect the doctors.
सरकार ने शायद काफी लंबे समय से लोग ऐसा सोच भी रहे थे, मांग रहे थे, तो सरकार ने जो इस प्रकार का प्रावधान किया है या सरकार बहुत जल्दी इस प्रावधान को ला रही है, तो एक अच्छा प्रावधान है। शायद तो जो लोग इस प्रकार के घृणित कार्य करते हैं वो भी सोचेंगे।
बहुत वेलकमिंग स्टेप है। इस टाइम की जो सिनेरियो चल रहा है, जो अटैक्स हो रहे हैं, डॉक्टर को वैंडलाइज किया जा रहा है, ये वाली सारी चीज़ें डॉक्टरों की सेफ्टी, बस डॉक्टरों की नहीं, नर्सिंग्स की, जो हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल्स है उनकी, जो लैब टेक्नीशियंस है उनकी, जो काम हेल्थ सेक्टर में काम कर रहे हैं, इन सब का मॉरल बूस्ट करेगा।
Later, on the instructions of the Home Minister, an advisory has been issued to the states by the Ministry of Home Affairs. The Union Home Ministry has asked the state governments to ensure the safety of the corona warriors. The Union Home Secretary has written a letter to the principal secretaries of all states and said that the safety of all frontline warriors, including doctors, should be ensured. Referring to the guidelines of the Supreme Court, states have been told that it is their responsibility to provide full protection to the doctors and other personnel fighting the coronavirus crisis. The centre has also asked states to appoint nodal level officers at the district level so that they can be available 24 hours to address aspects related to the security of corona warriors. The Union Cabinet approved extension of relaxation of mandatory requirement of Aadhaar seeding of data in respect of beneficiaries of the states of Assam and Meghalaya and Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh for 1 year with effect from 1st April 2020 under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. The Cabinet approved fixation of nutrient-based subsidy rates for phosphatic and potassic fertilizers of the year 2020-21. The expected expenditure for release of subsidy on PNK fertilizers during 2020-21 will be 22,186.55 crore rupees and to be provided on the subsidy rates approved by CCEA to fertilizer companies. With Shalendra Mishra in Delhi, Newsnight Desk, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, through a tweet, responded to Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Oli, in his tweet, thanked India for its gifting of 23 tons of essential medicines to Nepal. Prime Minister Modi, in his tweet, said, and I quote him, India-Nepal relationship is special. Our bonds are not only strong but also deep-rooted. India stands in solidarity with people and government of Nepal to fight COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Modi held a telephonic conversation with Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar to discuss the pandemic situation. He tweeted, and I quote him, discussed COVID-19 pandemic with Ireland's Prime Minister, Mr. Leo Varadkar. India and Ireland share similar approaches on many global issues. We will work together to further strengthen our partnership in health, science and technology to jointly address the challenges of the post-COVID world. And the number of active cases of COVID-19 in the country has now reached 15,859. The number of those who have recovered and have been discharged has gone up to 3,959. There have been 652 deaths and 1 migration, bringing the total to 20,471. ICMR has forwarded a protocol for using rapid antibody tests to all the states. It is reiterated that antibody rapid tests are largely to be used as a tool for surveillance. Globally also, utility of this test is evolving and it is currently being used for detecting the formation of antibodies in individuals. Now, these test results are also dependent on field conditions. As noted by ICMR, these tests cannot be replaced with the RT-PCR test to diagnose COVID-19 cases. ICMR has assured assistance to collect data from various states to assess the scope and extent of utility of these rapid antibody tests in field conditions, and ICMR shall keep advising the states on a regular basis. The states have also been advised to follow the prescribed protocol for these tests and use it for the purpose for which they are meant. And we're again reiterating that the ICMR has noted that these tests cannot replace the RT-PCR test to diagnose the COVID-19 cases. And 7 PPE testing facilities are now available in the country to fight COVID-19 pandemic. Ordnance Factory Board Chairman Mr. Hari Mohan told Doordarshan that 2 more such facilities will come with NABL accreditation at Ordnance Factory Ishapur near Kolkata and Ordnance Factory Ambernath near Mumbai. Now, before the COVID-19 outbreak, the only 2 facilities for testing PPE equipment were at South Indian Textile Research Association at Coimbatore and the DRDO facility, that is the DRDO lab in Gwalior. As the country faces corona pandemic, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with chief ministers of the states on 27th of April, that is Monday, via video conferencing. After the lockdown came into force, this is Prime Minister's 3rd interaction with chief ministers. First, the lockdown was in force till 14th April, which was later extended till 3rd of May. The previous video conference of the Prime Minister with state chief ministers took place on 11th of April, when nearly 13 chief ministers called for extension of lockdown. During this 4-hour-long interaction, Prime Minister had taken feedback from chief ministers whether to end lockdown or to extend it. The meeting saw all the chief ministers in favor of extending the lockdown. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address various Gram Panchayats across the country on Friday, that is tomorrow, on the occasion of National Panchayati Raj Day. Prime Minister will interact with various participants through video conferencing in view of the lockdown. Prime Minister will also launch the unified e-Gram Swaraj portal and mobile app on the occasion. The unified portal is a new initiative of Ministry of Panchayati Raj, which will provide the Gram Panchayats with a single interface to prepare and implement their Gram Panchayat development plan. The Prime Minister will also be launching the Swamitva scheme. First Lady of India, Srimati Savita Kovind, stitched face masks at Shakti Hut in the President's estate in New Delhi, making a small contribution in the fight against COVID-19. The masks stitched at Shakti Hut are being distributed at various shelter homes of Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board. On 20th of April 2020, the Kasawal enclave in Punjab got permanent connectivity to mainland when Border Roads Organisation opened the Kasawal bridge much ahead of the schedule. The Kasawal enclave of approximately 35 square kilometers had so far been connected to the rest of India by a pontoon bridge of limited load capacity. Now, this pontoon bridge is dismantled every year prior to the monsoons, as it would or else get washed away in the flow of the Ravi River in monsoons. Now, this meant thousands of acres of fertile land across the river could not be utilized by the farmers during monsoons. The 484-meter Kasawal bridge connecting Kasawal enclave with the rest of India was built by 141 Drain Maintenance Corps of 49 Border Roads Task Force of Project Chetak of BRO at a cost of 1,789 lakh rupees. The work that came to a halt on March 23rd due to COVID-19 lockdown resumed on 13th of April after getting required permission from district administration. The BRO teams continued the work with all necessary COVID-19 precautions. And people with stay-at-home orders are understandably frustrated by weeks of confinement, but COVID-19 will be around for a long time, and one of the greatest dangers is complacency. The World Health Organization chief Tedros Ghebreyesus warned on Wednesday, noting that the virus in Western Europe appears to be stable or declining. The WHO chief said that most countries are in the early stages of COVID-19, but some that were affected early are now seeing a resurgence in cases. He has warned that the virus will be with us for a long time and that it can easily reignite. The WHO chief was addressing a video press conference at WHO headquarters.
Most countries are still in the early stages of their epidemics, and some that were affected early in the pandemic are now starting to see a resurgence in cases. Make no mistake, we have a long way to go. This virus will be with us for a long time. There is no question that stay-at-home orders and other physical distancing measures have successfully suppressed transmission in many countries.
U.S. President Donald Trump signed an order to temporarily block some foreigners from permanent residence in the United States, saying he was doing so in order to protect American workers during the pandemic. The order is to last for 60 days and then will be reviewed and possibly extended. At the Daily News brief, Trump said that the move will ensure that unemployed Americans of all backgrounds will be first in line for jobs as the economy reopens. He also said that it will preserve our healthcare resources for American patients afflicted by the virus. Meanwhile, the U.S. House of Representatives is likely to pass a nearly $500 billion coronavirus bill today. The bill, which will provide funds to small businesses and hospitals struggling with the economic toll of a pandemic that has killed over 46,000 Americans, is expected to be the fourth coronavirus measure passed by Congress, boosting the overall federal financial response to almost $3 trillion. Over 8.39 lakh people are coronavirus infected in the U.S., while 77,366 people have recovered. 2 cats have become the first pet animals in the United States to test positive for COVID-19. The cats were from different areas of New York State and both were taken to vets suffering from mild respiratory illness. The first cat came from a household in which none of the residents had any symptoms. The second cat's owner was later diagnosed with COVID-19. Both cats are expected to make full recovery. With Europe's second highest death toll and the world's second most infection cases, Spain government has allowed children below 14 years of age to take short walks outside under supervision from this weekend. Relieved Spanish parents welcomed the concession as the Spanish government voted to extend Spain's lockdown till May 9th. Under the rules, children will be allowed outside between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. for up to 1 hour a day and must be accompanied by an adult with whom they live. Children will also not be allowed to use play parks and must respect social distancing norms. Spain's death toll due to coronavirus has reached 21,717, while the number of confirmed infections rose to 208,389. Spain is the worst hit nation after US with rising cases every day. However, the country aims to begin winding down its coronavirus lockdown in phased manners towards. With the epidemic seemingly past its peak, Spain's Tomatena festival, which is considered as one of the world's greatest and largest food fight festivities, was also suspended amid the coronavirus crisis. In 75 years, the festival has been suspended only once before, when the mayor cancelled it in 1957. In Italy, the total count of confirmed cases of COVID-19 has reached 1,87,327, while the death toll is at 25,085. The country ranks second highest in terms of casualties across the world after US and Spain. Meanwhile, Italian sports minister said that the government is still not ready to set a date for Serie A teams to start training again ahead of a possible resumption of the league. Professional football has been suspended in the country since March 9th over the pandemic. France has registered a total of 21,373 deaths from coronavirus infections. That is the fourth highest casualty tally in the world, but trailing just a few hundreds behind Spain, which has a death toll of 21,717. In good news, the number of patients in hospitals and intensive care units continue to decline. The number of deaths has also been largely stable in the past 3 days. The country has been on lockdown since March 17th in a bid to slow the outbreak. The government aims to ease the lockdown from May 11th, considering the downfall in the cases. In total, there are 1,57,125 confirmed or possible cases of the pandemic, while 41,326 people have recovered. And it has been noticed by the Ministry of Tourism that a fake letter claiming that hotels and restaurants will remain closed till 15th of October this year due to coronavirus outbreak is doing the rounds on social media in the name of Ministry of Tourism and is creating panic among the tourism sector. The ministry has clarified that no such letter has been issued by the Ministry of Tourism and people must not believe in such fake news. As many parts of the country are witnessing incidents of violence and discrimination against healthcare personnel working in the front lines against COVID-19 epidemic, the union government has brought in an ordinance to tackle the issue. Now, doctors at AIIMS have made this video on the pressing issue to raise awareness among the public.
Coronavirus has caused COVID-19, which is a viral infection which started late last year and has now become a pandemic. However, this has also created unprecedented issues which are unfounded and mainly driven by fear rather than actual scientific facts.
News and reports have also started coming that people have started becoming afraid of doctors in this time, for the fear that the doctors and the frontline workers who have pledged their life for this COVID infection, they themselves might be furthering the infection. All medical professionals who are on active COVID duty, they take very strong precautions. It takes more than half an hour for a doctor to remove all the protective gear a medical professional uses while managing a COVID patient. So by the time a doctor comes out of an active duty into the community, the chances of infection from a medical healthcare professional is nil. Therefore, the reaction of trying to throw doctors out of the house is coming primarily from our fear.
It has been seen that those who have or may have COVID-19 are being shamed publicly. When this disease does not discriminate, then why should we? Most of COVID-19 disease patients will get cured and return safely to their homes within 2 weeks. The individual discharge from healthcare facilities should be welcomed and not seen as a threat. In fact, they are one of our frontline warriors who have successfully defeated this disease. They are the ones who now have immunity against this disease. They are the ones who will play an important role in controlling this disease and prevent future epidemic through herd immunity. COVID-19 has taken lives, but let's not allow it to take away our humanity. Let's fight the disease and not the diseased. As a member of civilized society, it's our responsibility to help fellow citizens in their hour of need. So stop stigmatizing and start empathizing.
Together and united, we will beat this virus. Let us not shun the doctors. Let us help the medical healthcare professionals to beat this virus. And united, we will win.
I think it's important to understand that people who are working are actually the COVID warriors who are actually putting their life at stake and are therefore those individuals who need to be appreciated, cheered, and also be given more care by society rather than being stigmatized. They are not infectious, they take proper care because they also are aware that they will go to their near and dear ones and they don't spread the disease in the communities. So let's be positive about COVID-19, and if society has a positive attitude towards healthcare workers, towards patients, I'm sure we will win this war against this pandemic of COVID-19.
That was the video by AIIMS, and let us all resolve to salute the corona warriors fighting for the health of all in the country. On that note, we'll end this bulletin here. Thanks for watching.
हम आज फिर अपना फर्ज निभाने आए हैं। हमारे भी घर वाले चिंता करते हैं, पर आज देश की कोरोना से लड़ाई है और हमारा हौसला ही तो इस जंग का सिपाही है। कोई कुछ भी कह ले या कर ले कुछ भी, हम खुद से पहले अपना देश बचाने आए हैं। इस रणभूमि में शायद सांस हमारी भी टूटेगी, पर तुम्हारे प्राण बचाने को हम खुद को निछावर करने आए हैं। वार सभी हम सह लेंगे, पर हार नहीं हम मानेंगे। इस अंधियारे से हम जीतेंगे, फिर देश को रोशन कर देंगे। हम आज फिर ये युद्ध लड़ने आए हैं, हम आज फिर अपना फर्ज निभाने आए हैं। आइए करें उन्हें नमन जिनके लिए सबसे पहले है वतन। भारत सरकार द्वारा जनहित में जारी।